story!
This is a true story. Happened to a friend of mine, Stanley. When he was a little kid, he went off to visit his Uncle Elmo, a weird old coot who lived in the Florida Everglades. That's where Stanley found this little baby alligator, with which he played a lot. Stanley even said that Rocky, the name he called this alligator, would come when he called, which a person could believe. But getting an alligator to fetch and roll over, I don't know. Well, when it came time for Stanley to go back home, his poor little heart was broken in a million pieces. He'd have to leave Rocky. But Uncle Elmo put Rocky in a box, poked some holes in it so Rocky could breathe, and mailed it back to Brooklyn. Airmail special delivery. But fate sent Rocky round the world, or so it seemed. Then after 2 weeks, the package shows up. So Stanley's mom opened the box. Out popped Rocky. He was starving. Them jaws were snapping at everything. Rocky went for Mom's shoes. Could be they were once a relative. Rocky was licking his chops for a taste of the family mutt. But Stanley's old man was kind of fond of the family mutt, so he grabs this broom, corners the baby gator, and talk about bad timing. Stanley walks in just as his old man flushes Rocky down the toilet. "No!" screams Stanley. But there went Rocky, gone in a swirl of blue water. But this is not where the story ends. No, wait. You see, I met Stanley when he came to work with me. Sewer maintenance was the gig. Oh, sure, Stanley heard rumors that there were all kinds of creatures living in the New York sewer system. I mean, there were legends of rats the size of St. Bernards, leeches as long as a Louisville Slugger, and snakes that could eat the rats and leeches for an appetizer. And get this, one rainy night, Stanley's down on the working clog detail when he heard this terrified scream from down the tube. He got about 20 yards and screeched to a halt. There I was, sitting in the muck, my face white as a porcelain bowl. Stanley helped me up and asked, "What happened?" So I told him that I was raking away when this monster with about 100 teeth leaps out of the water and bites the rake clean in half. And when Stanley picked up the rake and saw that was for sure teeth marks, he starts to back away. That's when he spotted two yellow, slitty eyes bobbing just above the surface of the water, sizing Stanley up. At which point Stanley hollered and started to run. He turned to look. There was this alligator that Stanley swears was 10 feet long, and it was coming after him. Stanley ran as fast as he could, but the sewer bottom was slippery and there was lots of slop to get tangled in. The alligator was right there. It lunged. Stanley ducked to the side. The huge jaws were snarling and snapping. Stanley screamed, "No! Please, no!" Suddenly, the alligator stopped. It looked at Stanley. Stanley looked at it. The gator's yellow eyes kind of glinted. And so did Stanley's. "Rocky," he says, "is that you?" It took a couple of seconds for that to sink into the alligator's brain. And he winked. Was it a smile? Who knows? Then the big gator just turned and swam away. Now that was a true story. Happened to a friend of mine. And Stanley, he went on to university, majoring in the study of reptiles, he is.